Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Tyler here, bringing you some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 action. We will get back into some ranked play today, and we will also be going over what we saw over the weekend at Toronto Major 5 in the CDL, the final major of the season, before we get into champs here in a few weeks. So we'll start off talking about the bracket, of course, and how it went. My pick'ems did not go very well, of course, because if you watched, you know that I had Optic winning it all, and they get double first rounded. They don't even win a map. Absolutely insane. And that's one of the few things we'll go over today. But yeah, it was a very good tourney to watch. As far as like at the end, man, grand finals was lit. First time we got a game 7 all year. Most of the time they end on a game 6 of silo control. It's been insane, but finally we get to a game 7. And the New York Subliners, man, shout out to them. They get the job done, and this was huge for them, as we will talk about the champs bracket as well towards the end. But yeah, I just want to go over a few things briefly. Not going to go too crazy talking about this. I'll even mention my fantasy team, man. Ended up not doing too great. It was solid, better than my Major 4 fantasy, but either way, man, looking at the bracket, like I said, man, Optic, they lose 3-0 to Florida. It was ugly to watch, man. I'm not gonna make excuses. Like even Ghosty with his tweet said he was very sick, sick as he's been in a while, but he said it's no excuse. So with that being said, it is definitely still a factor, man. But either way, man, they did not show up. They were just doing too many ego chows by themselves, not playing together as a team as they usually do. And they just got outslayed, man. Couldn't get anything going. And even when they dropped to play Thieves in the losers bracket, I mean, Thieves always does good against Optic on land. So not necessarily surprised that they lost that as well in losers round 1. But the fact that they got 3-0'd again, man, it was tough to watch. Very tough. Definitely not what you want to see right before champs. But I'm sure the boys will regain and try their best going forward to get as much practice in and be ready once champs comes in Vegas, man. It should be lit. Also, I had Rocker beating Breach. I had that correct. They looked pretty good, man. Boston, they dropped down to losers, and they lost to London, man. London's first LAN win of the season. A 3-1, and I get my wish of Boston getting double first rounded. I know I didn't have that in my pick'em bracket, but either way, it was awesome to see, man. I did not want to see Boston do good, and they will be the 7 seed with their top 12 placing. They get the 7 seed for champs. FaZe 3-0's Vegas to start it off, and Vegas drops to losers like I thought they would, and then they go ahead and 3-0 surge. So they looked good, man. Thought, maybe they got some momentum off that win to try to make their run to make champs. But with New York, man, they lost 2-3 to Toronto in that first round of winners. It was a pretty good matchup, man. New York kind of sold a little bit, a couple rounds of searches and a round of control as well. But either way, man, they drop down, they 3-0 LAG, and they go on a run, man. They knock out Vegas. Vegas' champs hopes went down the drain with that match. New York was just too good, man. Hydra, absolutely insane, man. He went crazy. He's been one of the better players all season. Of course, in the middle of the season, New York was kind of stumbling a little bit after their Major 1 victory, but hey, they definitely picked up the consistency. The whole Wardy substitution on their last online match ended up not affecting them at all whatsoever. The boys showed up here in Toronto. So in winners round 2, you seen Rocker 3-0 Florida, man. They absolutely body slammed them. Typical out of Florida, man. They always like to ruin someone's tournament and then they lose right away. Of course, they dropped down to losers and had to play New York after New York 3-0'd both LAG and Vegas. They go on to also 3-0 Florida, man. They were just moving different, doing really well, just outslaying everyone, and it just wasn't even close, man. Thieves we'll talk about after they 3-0'd Optic in round 2. They beat London, man, 3-0, easy one for them. Kind of figured that would happen. I had them advancing in my pick'em bracket here. And then I had them losing to Ultra, as Ultra did lose 3-1, like I had in my pick'em bracket. So a couple good plays there. I mean, I did really good in the first round. I only had 2 series wrong. One in the winners with Optic, of course, and then one in the losers with, I had Breach beating London. But I mean, hey, I'm glad that they lost. That was great to see. It was awesome. You know, Asim, he's from Canada, so seeing him in front of a bunch of supporters get their first win on land this season, man, it was cool to see. Of course, you know, the Boston EQ Online Warriors, they go down, double first rounded, love to see it. But yeah, FaZe, man, they were looking really good to start this tourney, and they were just running through winners, man. 3-1 over Ultra, like I said, and Ultra drops to play Thieves. And I thought this would be a much better series, man, but Ultra 3-0'd Thieves, man. That was insane. They definitely came to play. Scrap was looking good after he had a couple rough series to start the event, but he looked really good against Thieves. And like everyone was just shooting well, man, for them early on. And then when you get to losers round 4, man, New York against Toronto, 3-2, New York get the job done this time. Both those series between those two teams were very good over the weekend, and New York was able to knock out the home team, man, at Toronto's home major. They get top 4. You know, I still think they'll come out strong for champs, man, but with New York going on their run to win, it actually knocked Ultra down to the 4 spot for champs, and that's going to set up a crazy matchup in round 1 with Thieves there at champs. Like I said, I'll go over that bracket here in a minute as well. But yeah, man, New York 3-2 Ultra there in losers round 4. In the winners final, we had FaZe 3-0 Rocker. I mean, yeah, if you thought Rocker was going to win that matchup, you're kind of wild, but they had been looking a lot better ever since putting Attach back in, what was it, a week ago. And yeah, they looked pretty solid, man, but FaZe is just a different beast. They 3-0'd them. FaZe was even looking really good on Control this weekend, which we haven't seen in a while. On Expo, they look like they might be the new best Expo Control team, man, so watch out for that going forward. When you move to the elimination final, of course, Rocker dropped down there to play New York, and New York at this point, they had 3 straight 3-0s. Then it had a very nice 3-2 victory over Ultra in round 4, and they go on to 3-0 once again. Rocker gets knocked out, man. Rocker gets top 3 there. So pretty solid finishing for them, man. That's their tied for their best finish of the season. I believe they got top 3 back at Major 2 in Boston as well. So yeah, New York move on to play FaZe in the best of 7 for the Major 5 championship. And this was an absolute banger of a series, man. Finally we get a Game 7. And New York, they took all 3 searches against FaZe, which is very, very surprising. You would never guess that would have happened. I definitely thought FaZe would win this matchup. I thought it'd be close, though, of course. I'm glad that New York, man, went on this run, because if it ended up being Rocker again, or even Ultra, I think Ultra would have probably not pushed it to 7, and Rocker would have just got slammed probably 4-0 or 4-1. But yeah, man, New York, they clutch up. They were down 5-2 in the Asilo search, man, and that was a huge victory for them to come back, winning 4 straight rounds, and that put them up 3-2 in the series. And then they went on to lose the Asilo Control, and it finished on a Mercado search, which they had not played much this season. I think they were 3-1 on it, and then they won it a couple times throughout this major, so they must have figured something out on that map and started playing it, and they looked really well on it, and they came out strong in that Game 7 against FaZe, and I think they won the first few rounds. And you know, FaZe tried to make a comeback in it, but it was just too little too late. New York clutched up, man, and they got the job done 4-3. After that terrible performance in the Expo Control from Priesta, he definitely regained, man. He only had three kills, man, in 4 rounds. That's very, very bad, but either way, he was looking good after that. After that, he definitely figured it out, and the team came together, and they were able to get the job done with a 4-3 victory over FaZe. Yeah, Hydra gets the MVP for the event, of course. I mean, it makes sense. He was absolutely insane the whole time, and he's been pretty insane all season. So I think with this being their 2nd championship of the season, I do think that Hydra will get the season MVP. I pretty much think at this point it was between him or Abizi. Like, whoever won this series, I think would have got it. And New York get the job done. Hydra continues to do his thing and looking like top player in the world right now. So I think Hydra will get that season MVP, man. But yeah, like I said, man, New York, they come out strong. After losing in that winners round 1 to Ultra, they just went on a crazy run there in losers. It was totally fun to watch. I mean, other than the fact that there's a bunch of 3-0s the whole weekend, like, I mean, we didn't get many map 5s. There was a few, but I mean, it was all made up for in that grand final. That was well worth it, man. Going to map 7, we finally see that. And New York, man, like I said, they get the job done. So that also is huge for them, as I will now pull up the champs bracket, in which they now move up to the 3 seed. So before that, they would have been either the 4 or the 5 playing against Thieves in round 1. But instead, they move up to the 3 seed now, and they get Rocker for round 1 at champs. So that's huge for them. And that also will set up now an insane round 1 matchup between Ultra and Thieves. Of course, Ultra just 3-0'd them in Toronto. But I think it'll be a lot different once we get to Vegas at champs. I'm not sure who will win. Of course, I will definitely go over like predictions and whatnot once we get closer to champs here in the next couple of weeks. But I just wanted to briefly go over, how the standings played out. Of course, with Vegas losing to New York in losers round 2, that knocked them out of contention, and Surge locked in that 8 spot. So they'll be playing the number 1 seed FaZe in round 1. And, it could be a good series. These two teams usually play against each other very well, but just with how Surge has looked lately, unless they get some insane practice in and start frying in those practices and scrims and whatnot, I think FaZe will probably come out and absolutely mollywop them and send them down into that losers bracket. Optic, they end up pulling Breach for round 1, so I think that's definitely a very good matchup for them. Of course, you know how I feel about Breach on LAN. I just don't see them doing anything here. Most likely, I think they get double first rounded again here at champs. And Optic's definitely on the good side of the bracket here. And I mean, hey, they were on the good side for the Toronto Major 5 as well. And we saw what happened, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be hard to imagine that they replicate that terrible performance again, man. So we'll see how they regain, and hopefully they get a good practice in and whatnot. But yeah, man, I think Optic will definitely get the job done against Breach, and then against New York, man. New York's hot, obviously, so that could be a really good matchup in round 2. But either way, you at least avoid like the teams of FaZe and Ultra or Thieves until winners final, if they're able to get past New York, which I think definitely New York should beat Rocker in that first round matchup. But yeah, like I said, I'll go over more predictions of that going forward. Just wanted a quick little preview of this champs bracket. And yeah, man, I'll probably do another video or 2 leading up to champs, man. Of course, I'll do, a full breakdown of this once we get closer. But yeah, man, hope you guys do enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Probably just a couple ranked play matches in here. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it, man. Slap that like button for me. I'd appreciate it a lot. Comment your thoughts down below. What do you think of the major, man? It was pretty insane to watch. Just way too many 3-0s, but ultimately the grand final in the end was well worth the wait. So yeah, comment your thoughts like I said, slap that like button, I appreciate it a lot, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Have a nice day, peace.
Another one corner. Another one came from the back door, I think.
Holy shit.
We close it here.
Back.
Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area.
Might be one up top.
I'm watching top. Oh, got him. Another one top.
Is he gonna jump down?
Enemies in
Yep.
the perimeter.
Good shit.
Got another cruise.
Oh yeah.
Hardpoint
back door.
compromised.
Water.
Secure the area. Locating the next
Water.
hardpoint.
Water.
Get ready.
I'm stunned.
Max. No max.
Got him.
Friendly cruise missile approaching target.
Oh, they're there. They're on new. He's in hut.
Location updated. Get
Up top, red above you, clutch.
Got him.
enemy personnel at the
Yeah,
hardpoint.
I'll point wherever he's at.
Good shit.
We win.
Oh yeah, boys.
That's what I'm talking about.
Have secured the field.
Well, that's how you feel?
I was just shooting whoever was in front of me.
Wow.
No way, dude. Oh yeah, that's when I called out that he was to the left and you just walked in like a butt.